Hey, welcome back to another financially fabulous episode. I'm Limor, and I'm going to show you how to crush it with your finances. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how many credit cards you need. Come on, this will be awesome. So how many credit cards do you need? It really bugs me when people say, oh, it depends. So I'm going to give you a definitive answer. Are you ready? I think you should have at least two credit cards at any given point in time. I will tell you exactly why I think that, but let's talk a little bit about credit cards before we even get there. So I think credit cards are amazing. I love my credit cards. I've been using them for a super long time, but warning bells, you've got to be careful with your spending, and you got to make sure that you are exercising restraint when you are using credit cards on a regular basis. Credit cards have so many significant benefits to them. Things like, of course, they're quick, they're easy, they don't have to be reloaded, you don't have to go to the bank to get more money in order to be able to use it. You can shop online, you can travel, you can use them all over the world. They give you tons of points, they give you lots of free stuff, so a tremendous amount of benefits to credit cards, but you want to make sure that you're exercising restraint and you're not spending money that you don't have, because you're going to end up in debt, which really sucks. Debt really sucks. Now, a recent Rate Hub study actually said that 95% of millennials carry at least one credit card, so woohoo, that's awesome. Whereas with boomers, only 80% of them carry credit cards. And actually that's kind of funny, but I'm not surprised at the same time, because the stigma or what credit cards mean has actually significantly changed. So like back in the day, if you were like a little old lady and you were going at the supermarket and you didn't have any money, you kind of like look around to make sure no one was there, because if you used a credit card, it basically meant that you did not have money to buy groceries. Whereas now things have completely evolved and we're using credit cards left, right, and center. So I think it's important to have at least two credit cards for a number of reasons. The first reason that I think you should have at least two credit cards is for backup, for emergency. We have lots of hacking and identity theft. Okay, maybe lots is a little too hard, but it definitely happens. And so you want to make sure that you don't find yourself in a situation where your credit card has been compromised and then all of a sudden you can't continue with all of your daily needs and being able to shop and buy all the things that you need in your life. So the second reason I think you should have at least two credit cards, because I actually think it's really important to have a credit card with each of two varying financial institutions. So, I personally like to have at least one credit card with the bank where I've got my checkings and my savings and kind of everything's in one place. But I also like to have another credit card with another financial institution. It just gives me a little bit more peace of mind or diversification. Look, I don't think that like one bank is gonna like shut down or anything like that. But I like to have my money available to me in different places. I don't necessarily like just one financial institution to have like the full viewpoint into all of my finances. Although I can see why there may be some advantages to that. But I like to have at least two credit cards with at least two financial institutions. Third reason that I think that you should have at least two credit cards is because of part of the combination of how our credit score is calculated. So let's say that you got one credit card and you've got a limit of $5,000 and you are spending $4,000 every single month. Well, an element of our credit score, which is of course how our lenders view our responsibility with money, or how well we behave in handling money when it's not our own or borrowed from the banks. So part of how your credit score is actually calculated is a debt service ratio. So of all the money that's available to you via debt through lines of credit and credit cards and HELOCs, all that kind of good stuff, is based off how much you're actually using of the debt that you have available to you, or those funds available to you. So if you're using $4,000 out of the $5,000, you are actually using a significant portion. Whereas if you've also got a secondary credit card that's got a limit of $5,000, well, in total you've now got $10,000 as available limit to you. And if you're only using $4,000 of the $10,000, well, that's less than 50%, and that'll actually help your credit score and it will make it go up. So credit scores are not an exact science, but we definitely know some of the attributes that contribute to it. And of course, showing restraint and not using all the money that you have available there for you is a great way to do it. The next reason is because on your credit score, you actually, if like you want to buy a house, qualify for a mortgage, you need to have at least 2 line items on your credit score. And you may not realize what a line item is. It could be your credit card, it could be a loan that you have, it could be a car that you're leasing. So it's important to have at least 2 lines that are reporting, and so it can be 2 credit cards, especially if it's with different financial institutions. And so really building strong history can be hugely advantageous. So I bet you're wondering how many credit cards I carry. Well, I carry 6. I carry 6. Hopefully you didn't write down those numbers. I don't want you doing some online shopping. But I carry 6 credit cards, and I know that's a lot. But actually 2 of them are for business. Okay, so we'll put those 2 aside. I have 4 personal credit cards that I use. One that's kind of a primary that I use for most of my purchases, but the others are also in rotation. So I actually have them with 4 different financial institutions. So I actually ensure that I use every single one of those cards at least once every 3 months. Because if you actually have a line of credit or a credit card that you haven't used in some time, the banks actually can shut them down. So I don't know the exact amount of time that, if a card is dormant, it gets shut down, but I just want to make sure that that doesn't happen to me. So I have a little spreadsheet where I check them off. So I actually use the 4 credit cards very strategically. Some is for like lounge access, others for car insurance on a rental car, others is like the points program that I like to use for travel or my main spend. So I got 4 going on in rotation. But again, like I said earlier on, if you do not have restraint, if you're just gonna like go shopping, without worrying about how much money you're actually spending, because you are spending real money even though it doesn't feel like it. Credit cards are a really great tool, but they don't actually spend by themselves. You have to actually take them out and use them. Although one of my girlfriends did tell me once that she thinks her credit card jumped out of her wallet and ended up buying a pair of shoes, but I don't know what really happened there. That brings me to my tweetable today. Carry at least 2 credit cards at any given time. Having that extra card is just going to give you that backup and help you derive all of those other benefits that I talked about. So don't be afraid of credit cards. Just make sure that you exercise restraint. And my challenge to you is, if you don't at least have 1 credit card, sign up for a credit card. It doesn't have to be a very high limit. It can be $200, it can be $500, it can even be a prepaid card where you pay for it in advance so that you can build some of that credit history if you don't have one or you don't qualify for a card. But it'll get you into the habit and the benefits of using a credit card. Did you like this video? Did you learn something? Subscribe to my channel. It's free. And if you want even more tips and tricks to make your finances fun and exciting, come on over to limor.money. I got lots of great resources for you to download. Remember, I'm not here to change who you are or how you live your life. I just have strategies to make you even more financially fabulous. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, stay fabulous. It's like a deck of cards. Show me your Visa and I'll raise you 1 MasterCard.